Okay, great. So, well, just let me welcome you first of all. Welcome, Brooke. We're so glad to have you here with us. And we have, you can see in the windows across the top, we have Lauren Rose, we have Pamela, we have Taria is also leading the group, and then we have Lily. So that's everybody here. So let me just give a little intro. So Brooke Medicine Eagle is a legendary earth keeper, wisdom teacher, mentor, healer, visionary, singer-songwriter, shamanic practitioner, catalyst for wholeness, and sacred ecologist. She is the best-selling author of the Native American literary classic Buffalo Woman Comes Singing, and also of The Last Ghost Dance. Her individual and group work is empowering, enlightening, and supportive of your very best self. Over the last 35 years, her many music recordings, teachings, writings, conference appearances, and wilderness spiritual retreats have touched the hearts and minds of people all over the world. She is now traveling and teaching internationally, enjoying the experience of being a world citizen. And I know, Brooke, you are just newly back from some long travels. So welcome and thank you so much for gathering with us today.
All right.
And I will let everybody know that Brooke is going to lead us, first of all, in a meditation. So you're welcome to get comfortable in whatever way you need to. And then there will be a little bit of time of silence after the meditation ends. So just know that you have a little space there afterwards.
All right. So in the beginning, there was nothing. No thing had been made manifest. There was a deep, dark, rich, velvety darkness. And in that rich womb of darkness, that feminine womb, that primary feminine womb, rested the seeds, the potential of everything that would ever, ever, ever be. Resting there in that womb called in Lakota Wakan. Wakan, the primary feminine, deep, deep, rich, velvety womb that holds the potential of everything. Then, out of nothing, she called into being. The Great Mother called into being the Father, light. Into her womb of love. Love, the beginning of all things. The rich, nurturing womb of creation, love. The Great Mother called into that womb the Father light. Like little lightning, branched lightning, soft and beautiful, coming into that great womb. And together, as they joined together, life began to unfold and be made manifest. La 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 la, 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 la. The great mother is love, and the Father is light. As they join together, comes forth all life. And so out of that joining of love and light, the great mother and the father, everything began to come into reality, into physical reality. And galaxies were born, star systems that made more and more stars. Space and time, everything from the largest sense of the universe down to the tiniest, tiniest microbe, the tiniest ant, and you. The Great Mother birthed you out of her ability to create from love and light. Out of nothing but that, she created all things, created you, manifest you out of nothing but her dream, her song. She made you in the beginning and gave you eternal life to move through time and time and time again. And so that deep, rich darkness, that feminine womb contains everything, and therefore all knowledge and wisdom, all potential, all possibility, the incredible creativity that manifests from nothing but a dream, love and light, and all these things the Great Mother gave you. For the Great Mother not only birthed you, but the Great Mother lives in you, as she does in everything. The tree outside my window nodding its branches in the breeze, the birds, the water, everything. She lives in you, as you, through your heart, as you open it and remember her, as you remember this great life that lives you, her power and beauty and creativity pour out through the words and song of your life, through your heart and through your hands, into the world. As we remember ourselves as one with that great life and wisdom and intelligence, we call to ourselves enormous power. We live in the river of power. The river of power, that great moving spiral that nourishes and brings life to everything, all the way out through galaxy after galaxy after galaxy, and deep, 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 deep within us, each one of us. And each one of us is given absolute divine sovereignty. We are a specific coding of the Great Mother's life. Set in us are rare and rich and beautiful, absolutely tools and gifts, offerings without duplication. And so as we can remember, bring ourselves back into connection, and all of our all parts of ourselves, remembering that we are one with that great life, and bring that through ourselves, not force. We then can let go of force and push and shove and trying to make things happen and stressing and straining. We drop that and step in to the river of power that is the Great Mother's life living through us into the world. Her creativity, her richness, her beauty, her love of us, her support of us, moment to moment to moment to moment, alive in us, looking through our eyes into the world. And as we touch that deep truth of ourselves, then we can let go of so much of the, I don't like to call it darkness. I think of it as sludge, because darkness is beautiful. The night sky, the stars, the moon, the sweetness, and the dark, rich, rich womb out of which we came. All that giving us the energy and life to move forward and clear away, let go and release, and no longer have need for any of the sludge and old crystallized, hardened things, the constructs, the ideas and the thoughts and the beliefs, all of those things where we hold ourselves in some kind of box. The feminine is about flow, about opening the channel and allowing that great life to move through us into the world. When we can do that, when we can find that rich depth in ourselves, when we can go again and again saying, Great Mother, take me in to your rich and all of who I am lives. Take me there where I need do or know nothing. I can step into the deep feminine, releasing and clearing and opening, that I might be fed and informed, filled, inspired by that rich life, that life that when we allow ourselves to be inspired from that deep place, the visions and dreams and projects and things that we might want to do in the world coming from there, those are enormously powerful because they are in the great flow that moves things forward without effort, moves things forward. So we get to dance in that energy, bring ourselves in a kind of joy. We it. And in this time, on this earth, on this beautiful Lady Gaia, we are in a time of enormous challenge. We are in a critical time, a crucial time, a crossroads for humanity. Will we allow this great life to live through us, this great life that, along with the great teacher White Buffalo Woman, says to us, everything anything we in the great circle of life we do to ourselves, for we are one being. And so love and respect and kindness and honoring and caring and stewardship are what flow from us by our very nature. As we give gratitude for the nurture, love and support and beauty and sweetness of this life that lives through us, of this absolutely radiant blue-green planet that is our home, who is under our feet, sending life into us at every moment, and the light, the Father, Son, the light enlivening us. When we stand in that gratitude, empowered and enriched, supported and nurtured by that, then we have the power to walk forward in a good way. It's a time, an exciting time, because it's the time of the awakening of the great feminine. In 1993, the male elders of primary traditions around the world handed the wands of power to the grandmothers and said, now it is your time. And even the Dalai Lama said, Western women will be the saving of the world. And so in this time, when we are so busy, we are in many ways overwhelmed, we must find ways to nourish ourselves, to be supported and uplifted, to find more ease and grace so that we can offer into the world the solutions out of the feminine leadership that is natural love and caring for all the children of life. And so dropping into that great mother's womb, dropping into the great mother's womb, we receive the nurturance, the love, the richness, everything we need. We receive from the great mother, that great womb. And so as you sit there and rest there, let the song of the great mother sing through you, sing through your body. Your body is holy. Your body is this holy instrument, this earth robe. Every cell, the life of the great mother, every cell, every part of you here and available then to bring through the love of the great mother into physical form, not moving outside physical form, not needing to leave our bodies to be spiritual or awake, but inhabiting our bodies, filling our bodies with that rich life, and through our bodies, moving that into the world. So allow yourself to feel just resting back into that womb. Nothing to do, nothing you need to know, just opening, letting go everything. And the Great Mother's song, the Great Father and Mother sing their song of harmony, and it moves through you, opening your cells, clearing the spaces, everything that's not needed beginning to move out. That song like a vibration strong enough to break loose all and any kind of calcified or hard or old or sludge, anything that's there in any form, any way, anything that's not beneficial or useful to you, washing it, going away, just like dust on the wind, blowing it out, letting it go back to be made into something beautiful, clear and open. Every cell of your body clean and clear, awake with the life of the Great Mother, able to connect with each other and communicate and create health and beauty inside yourself. So rest there. Women work 24/7. Especially women with children know this. We need to find ways to drop into this restfulness, to carry it inside ourselves, to empower ourselves with the rich wisdom and beauty of the Great Mother, moving through us, supporting our actions, giving us the dreams and the ideas that will literally create heaven on earth. And so, finding this place, Great Mother, take me to that place deep within your womb where I need know nothing and do nothing and am filled and nurtured and renewed. I'm filled with the remembrance of your love, with the incredible infinite wisdom of my connection with everything, and with the creative ability that comes right from you, that ability to create magic and beauty and aliveness out of nothing. And that lives in my womb as a woman. It's one of the special gifts of being a woman. And so allow that richness of the Great Mother to nestle within your womb. So you're remembering that you carry that as you walk forward into the world. Blessed, supported, cared for, supported to be the divinely sovereign, creative, magical, empowered woman that you are. La 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 rest there for another minute or two. Just rest and nourish yourself with the rich sweetness of the Great Mother's love for you. Out of that rich darkness, awakening the light. And so when you feel ready, you certainly open your eyes, and I'm looking forward to sharing with you in any way I can. I have lots to share with you, and I'm really excited that you're doing this work with these wonderful women this year, a whole year. What a blessing.
That was really beautiful. Thank you so much. I was on mute there when I started talking, but yes, I feel like I went to a whole other realm. So thank you. Really beautiful.
You know, the exciting part is that that realm lives inside of us, and studies show that, well, it's very interesting. Some studies that have been done in the modern world anyway of men and women show that men's stress has increased in the last probably 50, 60, 70 years. Men's stress in that study looked like it had increased about 10%. And women's stress, 100%.
Wow.
And I mean, it makes sense. We've got our own lives to try to take care of and be healthy. We've got maybe a relationship. We might have children. I mean, already there's a lot of time, energy, and amazing, effort we put out. Then there's a home we take care of. And then, oh my gosh, like we work full time, many of us. So there's all of that going on. And then, as I like to say, it's both the bad and the good news in some ways, is that we also get to save the world. In this time of the feminine, we're really being called forward into leadership. So we're being asked a tremendous amount right now. And the thing that I'm working with women all over the world about is, how do we de-stress ourselves and get hooked up in some way that gives us
Can you hear me? It seems like the connection broke there for a bit.
looks like it is stopped. Are we going again?
Now I can see you again and hear you again.
Okay. So I was saying that the statistics on cancer and heart disease for women so many things. When we're stressed, we blow out where we're weakest. And with all the poor food and the water and the light pollution and all these things, there's enormous pressure on everyone. And then on women, I feel like it's extra. And finding a way to de-stress ourselves is vital, to find some kind of ease and well-being, and then to have the energy to do what it is we're being asked to do in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I know that in this group, the women who have said yes to this journey have all been on quite a journey. We started together May 1st of 2018. So we're coming to our last 3 months here. And so the whole time, I mean, we're so, naturally aligned with the seasons, but I feel like ever since September or October and all through the winter, so many of these amazing women in our group have really been going through some either challenging times or very uprooting times, or, times of stress in all different ways, for sure. So yeah, what you're saying is very, very relevant for us.
I don't know if you've discussed it much, but one of the real powers that we have as women, and we're needing to break out of the patriarchal constructs that we've lived in order to function in some of these ways. Excuse me. But women's moon time, women's menstrual time, is meant to give us rest. I mean, when you work 24/7, especially if you have children, you're never off. They cry at 3 a.m. in the morning on a Sunday. It doesn't mean you're off. You get to work. And so the way the Great Mother created us is that she gave us our moon time, our bleeding time, and suggests that as the grandmother moon covers her face and darkens, that we also do that. And natural women with their eyes in the moonlight bleed at the dark of the moon. And she suggests that we have that 4 days off, 4 full days a month. That's not even much when you think how much women work and how much we carry. So 4 days a month off. I think of those 2 days as just resting. It's like, oh my gosh, just rest. Don't do anything. Whew. Just to go into the feminine, which is about not doing. And then the last 2 days, those last 2 days are supremely important, because the way it's talked about in the deepest native ways, and women around the world who follow women's mystery teachings go into those moon lodges, rest 2 days, and then there are 2 days of meditation. I like to think of this round room, beautiful seating, no light except perhaps a candle, deep in the feminine, deep in that quiet not doing that is the true feminine. And the veil between us and the great mystery is the thinnest then. So the charge to us as women and the call to us is to then say in those 2 days to say, and I think we're talking to the Great Mother, take me, nurture me, fill me, give me dreams and visions of what I can bring back for the people. And that service is profound. And the way life is structured, without regard for the feminine in many ways, certainly without women's health and well-being in mind, in a kind of factory work, go do it, produce kind of world that we're in, that's not allowed. So part of our challenge is to call that into being, say, look at the studies, and there are studies coming out now. Iceland and other places give women at least 1 day off during their menstrual time, their moon time, and their productivity and their health soars. It works. So We just need to begin moving in those ways to reclaim the true deep feminine that nurtures us and gives us these rich, incredible visions to serve the people. So that's one way. And of course, that time in the Moon Lodge, in the Great Mother's womb, calling on her, resting in her, is so nourishing and distressing. So we come out of it so much healthier, enriched in every possible way.
Mhm. Yeah, this is such an important part of what we need to shift and change and build into our world as we rebuild.
I think so. And, it isn't easy. When I talk to women around the world, I say, I wish I had a magic pill. I wish we could just go, bingo, we've got 4 days off. Bingo, we have moon lodges. We're all out in the light. The light pollution is cleared and we see the moon and we come together in our lodges and nourish and deepen and, become the deep spiritual women that we are. Bring that forward and bring these visions forward and really make a difference in our world. That just doesn't happen overnight, but the more we attend to it, the more we know about it, the more we call for that, the more we demand it, require it, the more we educate our workplace, our men, other women about this, the more likely this will happen. And I know you've all talked about this. I'm sure you have in some ways, but the critical nature of our time is really important to pay attention to. Anything we can do to empower ourselves is really important because, a lot of the elders, the oldest, finest elders are saying, we've had 20, 30 years here to take care of the earth and start turning things around, and we haven't really done much. So we're right on the edge of some very critical breaks in the planetary function. So I believe that when we bring things from that deep magic, the workable, empowered, supported kind of dreams and visions Mother gives us, and working together. Like one of the things that I teach about is that women can get out there and do, and push and shove and maybe do the best. They get all this praise. It's like all great. And they do not get one bit of support hormonally that gives them oxytocin to feel good, feel happy, de-stress, and be able to move forward in a good way. What creates that is women working together. That is one of our major keys. So women coming together and working together, putting that wonderful energy toward all of life, the children of everything. I think those are some of the keys as we walk forward.
So there was one topic that you mentioned before we got started, and that was how, because we feel so trapped in these constructs, in these boxes that we've created for ourselves in our society. So how can we begin? How can we have the courage to step outside of these societal constructs?
It's really amazing because it's like fish in water. It's like we can't even we can't even quite find them in ourselves sometimes. But as we recognize them, I just think it's important for us to have the courage to challenge things from a place of love, not anger, but a place of love and requiring what works. And, and I'll get to some other things, but one of the things I wanted to talk about is the power of our love and our caring. And so often we as women think of that as just sweet and nice, Valentine's Day. Love is just sweet, it's just kind and it's just good. And yes, it is. It's wonderfully that way. And love is fierce. And fierceness doesn't have to do with anger or meanness or harm. Fierceness is about saying no, 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 no. You do not get to do that in my space. You do not harm children. You do not do whatever it is. It's like to stand up and be fierce. And mothers, it's that mother bear energy. It's like, you do not do that. That is not allowed. And that kind of fierceness, not with anger and reaching out and saying, I'm going to hit you now. It's like just setting a boundary and saying, no, this is where it stops, is right here. I do not allow that in my world. And I think as we step up in those kinds of ways, we will really start to make a difference. And so much of what needs to be done just makes good sense, really. And part of our empowerment, is just how we spend our dollars, if we're willing to buy good food and support, things that come from a good place, then we're empowering the world in wonderful ways. But one of the things I was going to mention to you, because it's such a teaching to me about constructs, about how we see our world and how we live in our world. The Navajo people's language is very interesting, because if a Navajo woman were to say that she was going, in English you'd say, I'm going to get in the car and go down to the shopping mall or something. And there's a kind of time directed, from here to there. Well, in Navajo, there isn't time in that same way. The subject is what you pay attention to. So you'd be talking about the person or the person moving, or there might be a story from the past come into it, or something, some other things, all of them kind of pulled out of various and sundry parts of time as we think of it, which would be very confusing for us. It's about the subject of what's happening, not the linearity of it, which is like totally seems crazy, but it's a different way of seeing the world. And I like to tell the story about my Cheyenne stepmom. Cheyenne is, it's an incredibly difficult language, as is Navajo. And so I was working there and spending time with the medicine women there. And I wanted to know, I said to her, what's the word for buffalo? She was a little bit of a shy person, and she kind of got really shy, and I thought, oh my gosh, what did I say? Mm-hmm. So I just said, well, I just wanted to, I'm thinking about a name that has buffalo in it, and I just wanted to know the Cheyenne word. And she still was really funny. And I said, well, can you tell me what's happening here? And she said, and this is a Plains Indian people who live with buffalo, right? She said, there's no word for buffalo. Mm-hmm. I said, you're kidding me. How do you refer to buffalo? They're in your life. They were in your life all the time. And then she kind of relaxed and could share with me. And she said, there's no word, there's no noun, there's no thing that's a buffalo. There's a little root piece, like we would think of a root of a word or a section of a word that refers to buffalo. But it's not a word, it's not a thing. It's not used ever without being connected to something else. So there's a buffalo cow and her calf moving across the pasture. There's that bull buffalo and the herd that he's moving. There's that young bull and his blah, 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 blah. It's all connected to movement and process and presence, not about things and stuff and nouns. And isn't that an amazing way
Yeah.
of seeing you just see the world totally differently.
Mhm.
And I think too, as we drop into our meditations with the Great Mother and into our moontime meditations, and certainly women in moon pause or menopause can be even more meditative. They don't have to confine it to just the 4 days. Hopefully they have a little more slack and can have more time to meditate with that. Because the grandmother lodge, the women, the wisdom women in those elder years, their commitment is to serve not just the family around them, but the whole family of life. So as we go into those meditations and that frame of mind and that remembrance of wholeness and holiness, I believe will bring forward new ways of being and literally remember how women can function in the world in a powerful way and be supported in who we really are, in offering our love and our gifts and our power and our beauty and our ideas and all of those things. So I think it's just important to step up. I've always been a little mouthy and I've always been a little trouble too, but it just makes sense to speak up, I think, and to be ourselves as much as we can. And, to support each other, I think. I really do think that as we stand together, not against anything, but for life, as we stand together for life, we become an enormously powerful force. We build oxytocin that nourishes us, touch into the Great Mother's life and ideas and designs and energy. And we just start stepping up in a whole different way of leadership and personal expression, I think. We sort of break free of what has been. I love the thought of going in that meditation to, Great Mother, take me into that deep, dark womb where I need to do and know nothing. It's like to let go, to just constantly being willing to let go, to let the dust blow away all that stuff that's gotten caked and crusted on us, whether it's social constructs or anything else. Just blow that away and let the flow come through our heart. That's where the Great Mother's love moves us right through the heart. Then we start expressing through our heart, and I think we're not so tied down by what we have been in the past or what other people think or even what our society thinks. We join something much, much larger. We break out of the boxes that we've been placed in, and because we are living the life of something so enormous and rich and beautiful and creative, the boxes just kind of blow away and disappear, I think. It's not as easy as it sounds, I guess, but in a way it is. It's like, where do you go? What do you energize? What do you move through yourself? And that practice of going into that deep feminine, I just think is so good for us, so helpful to break loose and to free up some of that stuff that has held us. And I also like to think that the Great Mother, the great energy of the feminine rising up out from underground where it's been suppressed and where it's been resting, you might say. And that wonderful energy, I think of it like a absolutely enormous Venus of Willendorf, that big mama with the big breasts and the big belly and the big legs and just this feminine power and richness, just rising up, just coming up, pushing, unfortunately, all of the junk and negativity and stuff we're seeing ahead of it, because we can't leave that buried, pushing that up, hopefully blowing and vibrating in a way, and being there to empower something new in men and women both. I think I've heard of, I don't know it personally, and not so many men who are in it, but I've heard of something called the Mankind Project, where these guys are saying, you know what? I mean, the fellows I talk to, it may be different in other places, but they say, you know what? We're really saying to the world, I don't want to be put down because I feel and care. I don't want to be put down for the feminine qualities that are part of my nature. I've been told to shut up, to not cry, to toughen up, to, act like a man. And, good men are way bigger and more full and more rich than that. And so for men to step up and say, you know what, I'm not buying it anymore. I will be my tender-hearted, loving, caring, supportive, whatever. I will be the truth of myself. And so men are finding it too, and we can support that in them as well.
Thank you. Thank you for all of this. Yeah, go ahead. Did you want to say something else?
Well, I was just thinking, I don't know if I have any answers, but we could probably open this up for questions if you're ready.
Yeah, absolutely. We can do that. So, does anybody have any questions that you would like to ask Brooke?
Any advice you have about de-stressing? I mean, it's so fascinating what you said, that women's stress has gone up 100%, which I think we're all experiencing, but it's interesting to get that study, that figure. And so I love what you say about the moon time and taking 2 days, 4 days, whatever we can do off. I haven't had my moon time in 20 years, but I'm sure there's some version of that I will be thinking about being called to do. But any other advice you have about how to slow down for women so that we can be more of ourselves and not at this pace that the world has created for us, and the responsibilities that we carry, as you say?
Well, one thing that's important to know as elder women is that the moon always tells you about that meditation time and when the most power is there, because at the dark of the moon is when there's that incredible power for women. And so, that 4 days, and certainly I think as elders, just spending more and more time in that place and bringing those things forward. Mm-hmm. So that's certainly one thing. And I just think we really need to do our homework with women working together, because to have that oxytocin in our bodies and feel good, to feel happy and satisfied and, ready to go, makes all the difference in the world. And I mean, just think how little we get that. I mean, we get oxytocin, from nursing our children and from kindness and touching and there are other ways, but really the big hit of it, the great mother said, women usually are in the villages working. They work together. Men often go out, but women are always together. So how do we give them nurturance? We give it to them by letting that come as they work together. And I think that's such a major piece and such an important teaching and such a thing a woman talked to me the other day. I'm here at a spa that a friend of mine owns, and there are many wealthy women here. And this older gal, and I know she has a lot of resources, monetary ones, but our grandmothers, our elder women, have enormous resource of experience and knowledge and understanding and courage and maybe resources, of monetary value. She said, what can we do? And I said, get together a group of elder women. It's like the 13 grandmothers. They showed us the power of coming together, 13 women coming together and saying, what can we do for life here? What can we do for the kids? What can we do for this town? What can we do for what? What do we have? We've got resources. How can we help each other put them into action? And that fierce, incredibly powerful, loving energy being, gathered together I think is one of the real powers of things. And, another thing is that we have in our whole culture, we have a challenge following what I would say following the medicine wheel, which is that, in the springtime, it's, things bursting up, things coming into the light, the new light coming, life, energy. That's the little masculine. Children being birthed, seen in the light for the first time, all of that energy, new ideas, like, aha, now I see. That's what I'll do. In the South, then midsummer, midday, intense, busy, growing, working, handling it, doing it. That's the big masculine. That's the big masculine. Then autumn, sunset, quieting, things starting to release and clear and let go. Things getting quieter, not so much activity, not so much growth. Things softening down, gathering in the harvest, leaves falling, letting go. All of those things are the beginning of the feminine. It's the little feminine. And so allowing ourselves really to touch into that part of things. And then around the wheel, midnight, midwinter, absolutely nothing happening. White buffalo woman sitting by her frozen wisdom lake, her head in deep meditation, doing nothing. And see, to do that breaks the construct of the patriarchal, you've got to do something, you got to be busy. You can't be a woman and have kids and have a period, for God's sake. That's not productive. That's not offering things to the world. It's like, all of this stuff about that's not okay. To take time to quiet. I mean, really, that's one of the big ones we need to break through in our lives. To just choose and choose and choose and choose again, and to call for that, to call for our health, to call for our well-being. And it's a warrior's challenge. It really is. And it's a warrior's challenge not only because of the outside, but because of the inside. When we've been taught that our moon time, we need to be ashamed of it, our blood is dirty, that we, if we go to moon lodges, it's because we've been banished because we're dirty. I mean, whoa, all of that stuff says, it's just set even in us a feeling that that's not okay. And so when we find inside of ourselves again, the honoring of our true femininity and all, the blood in our womb, that our wombs are the big magic in the human form. The big magic. There's nothing more magical. And the power of creativity that comes out of that through bringing the great mother's energy through us. That's big, big, big stuff. So for us to find the power of our own belief and understanding and support and nurturing of that, then how we act in the world can make a difference. So I think some of it's working on ourselves and looking at how we felt about things and what we think about how we get self-worth. Self-worth going out there and doing it, or, is it sitting in quiet and bringing forward a dream that we give to the world and can manifest some beautiful piece of heaven on earth, It's just, I feel like, as with many things, it's a kind of an inside job. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying it's easy. Oh, golly. So I hope that's helpful at some level.
Yes, thank you so much. This whole thing has been a rich journey that you've taken us on in our imaginal, in our thinking. Yeah. I love what you share about the languages. That's so vital, so necessary to know how much our language creates our reality.
Yes.
Too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that as we as we find more of our quiet time. And I think grandmothers are really, 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 I mean, I tell people I'm not a grandmother, I'm a naughty aunt. But the elder women, the wise women, as we have more time and bring forward things, I think we can, and even young women who are really getting it about their menstruation and all that, I think we'll bring forward some really amazing things that start to kind of shatter and break down that old, structured, tight, judgmental, destructive way of being. I think it's going to kind of crumble. That's why I love the metaphor of the song of the Great Mother, just kind of breaking up all that old stuff and just turning it to dust and blowing it away. I just feel like that, the Great Mother rising up, just soft curves and moving through, breaking up all of this stuff. And that comes right through our hearts and our bodies and our wombs,
Does anybody else want to ask Brooke a question before we close? Yeah, Lily, go ahead.
So I just want to say thank you for the meditation. It was very, very soothing for me. And when you were singing, it was very, it just felt very nurturing, very, very nurturing. It kind of brought me back to my childhood. So thank you for the meditation. I'm going to listen to it several times after now because it was very good. And I also wanted to share with you that I look in your webpage and I noticed that you are going to Rancho La Puerta in Tecate. And that brought a smile to my face because my family is from Tecate and I go there very often. And I meditate by the Cuchuma mountain. That mountain is very special to me. So just knowing that you were going to go there, I was like, oh, great. I wish I could go to one of your workshops, but I don't think that the workshops in Rancho La Puerta are open to the public. I believe they are only for guests.
Right, so, and I don't, I have just a kind of a quick little offering I make here, but I have to tell you, I'm here already. This is where I get to rest for a while, and then I will teach for that week. But Sarah Livia, whose family owns Rancho La Puerta, is a student of mine and a very dear and old friend. So it's a really wonderful, once again, and one of the things that it reminds me of is women supporting women, because like I said, I've been on the road for 6 months. If I had been in hotels and just kind of living on my own out there, I would have never, ever been able to do that. What allowed me to do that, and joyfully, really, it's more stressful when I came back and got my motorhome and been working with it and stuff than when I'm working in the world. And the reason is women support me. Women invite me into their homes. They nurture me. They help me. They help create things for me. And they become these loving friends and supporters. And that literally makes the difference. And it's the same thing right here. Sarah Livia, in all her absolute beautiful, generous heartedness, supports me by allowing me to rest here in a way that I often don't get to rest. So yeah, I'm here. I walked up Cuchuma today, up the beautiful mountain, and said my prayers.
So. Great. And also, when you were talking about the vision, like us having a vision, and the meditation also was talking about that. I have shared this with my group before, but I was reflecting as you were talking that when I got married my first time, I am in a second marriage right now, but I was married in Mexico 24 years ago when I was 24 years old. And I remember I thought that I would be happy making my husband happy, that his happiness was going to be my happiness. I totally believed that. And little by little, I learned that I was not happy if I only make him happy. But now, with all these things that I'm learning, and a lot of things that I am learning in this group with this tribe of people, I can tell that I am now bringing a vision to the world, that I can see myself coming from being here, that I didn't feel that I could do anything besides just serving my husband. That was all, to now being a person that wants to bring a vision to this world. So when you were talking about that, I was just reflecting on how far I have gone. So thank you for your talk.
I'm so happy for you. That is so wonderful. You know, and part of what women have always done, I mean, we have always worked together to make our families and the world a good place to offer, to create life, to support life. And that's really a part of us. And what's exciting about the time we're in now is that we also have a chance to bring forward the visions and beauty that we have. And I hope that we can find a balance again, because, you know, in the old days, it wasn't that the Native women had to do everything, you know, create and make everything happen. Just like a chief, a really fine man in those cultures, was not only a guy who could just get out there and do it and handle it and, you know, lead people and get things done and all of that, but he did that in service of the people, in service of the feminine. And he was guided by the visions and heart and fierceness of the grandmothers who were standing there saying, you know what, you can lead if you are taking care of the people and honoring the people and honoring life and making sure the whole works. Selfish and doing, you know, whatever else you might do, fighting, warring, hassling, all of that. You can't be a leader. You're not a leader. A leader is a man who takes care of the people. And so, you know, our visions and dreams, I really think that in the old days, women dreamed. I think they were incredible dreamers, and some very specifically, maybe better, just like always, better than others. But those dreams and visions came forward and they offered those into their world, and the whole of the group probably put them into action. It wasn't like they had to do it all. They were the dream, they were the vision, they were the heart, they were the you know, the wisdom behind things. And I hope we come to that again, where it's not like we have to push and shove and do everything, but we can bring forward the beauty of what we have and what we see and what we dream. And, you know, just, I think in the old days, I mean, maybe in a moon lodge, 2 or 3 of the women saw a vision that the winter would be a really, really, really hard winter. And they would go to the chief and say, what we have seen is it's going to be a very difficult winter for our people. And we know that you'll help us prepare to deal with that. I mean, working together, you know, is really so powerful. So I'm really proud of you. I think it's pretty exciting that you have a sense of that wonderful vision to bring. And we all have one, if we think it's big or little, or no matter what it is, if it's our heart speaking into the world, it's joyful and wonderful and rich and important.
Yes, yes. And I'm all of us in this group, we are all having big visions.
And these
well,
gals are pretty good
yes.
to support that. That's really wonderful.
Yes, thank you, and have a good trip to Rancho La Puerta.
Yeah. I'm going to head for the hot tubs after we're done.
So amazing that you're both connected to Tecate and that mountain. Just amazing. Well, Brooke, I want to honor your time because I know you needed to keep this close to an hour. So I think we can close unless, is there anything else that you wanted to say? Before
Well,
we close?
I would love to end with a prayer.
Wonderful.
So let's just close our eyes and so great Mother of all life, you who love us so much, who are love and who made us of love, and Father Light, you gave us this brilliant, sparkling life that is ours. We're so grateful. So we ask that you help us to remember ourselves as you, alive in the world, that we are loved, that we are given vision and empowerment, that we can take a deep breath and let go, perhaps, of some of the stress that comes when we feel we're on our own, that we can reach out now, and more women working together, just creating such beauty and richness and having a great time doing it, just enjoying ourselves so much. And so we give thanks for this life we live, for this absolutely stunningly beautiful planet that we steward and care for and want to walk forward on. So we ask that everything in this great circle of life, especially on this sweet earth, be blessed and cared for, that we might step forward and care, take, steward, love things, and move out just like the grandmothers. Move out those who do not lead us well, who do not love, do not care, do not take care of, and bring in those who are the real leaders. Powerful, good, loving, kind, respectful, honoring, to be truly human, that we might become, as the Incan people say, we might become people made of honey, sweet and beautiful, and renew, reflower this beautiful Lady Gaia, this wonderful Mother Earth home. With much gratefulness, we say Aho Mitakuyasin for all our relations.
Oh. Thank you so much, Brooke.
I always love working with you, girl.
Likewise.
This is one way we get to come together. You know, it's just one of those things. We might not be in physical proximity, but I feel like everything we've done together has been so lovely and rich and so special to join in this way. It's one of those gifts we have now of being able to join together. So I'm wishing you all very well, and hopefully we'll see each other again.
And there are 5 others who aren't able to be with us today who will be listening to this shortly. So your love and wisdom will be going out to them. And I'm sure they would want us to say thank you as well. So we all say thank you so much. Thank you so much, Brooke. It's just,
You are so welcome.
just a blessing to be with you. Thank you.
I think it froze up there at the very end.
Yeah, I kind of
Brooke.
froze. We lost her. We lost you, Brooke. It's frozen. There you are. There you are.
Oh, we're back.
That's what I get for being in the back country and around this wonderful mountain, but that's kind of my favorite kind of places to be.
Yeah, I think that's it's definitely worth the trade-off. Yeah, thank you so much, Brooke. We can't thank you enough. This has been really, really wonderful, very eye-opening, and yeah, just beautiful in so many ways. So
and heart-opening, and blessings to you as you recover from all your travels.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, get good rest and take good care. And
Thank you.
we'll send our love your way, our love and gratitude.
I will receive it with happiness. Thank you.
Okay.
All
Have a wonderful day, everybody.
Much love to all.
Yes, lots of love to you all. Bye.
Bye.